I gotta tell you, man, that's nasty. We have used furniture.
Wait.
And we give deals.
What?
Our used furniture.
How did it... I just turned the Vita on and then it started playing Hardcore Pawn. From yesterday. Which is very funny. Get me some of those lumines. Yo. Ignore the dishwasher.
Luminous Electronic Symphony.
God, they put in so many fallbacks for like
Voyage.
using the touchscreen on the Vita, like front touch, front and back touch.
The future
And, like,
of the future.
The compatibility is so bad. How's my day going? I don't know. I woke up. I slept. Not in that order. The dishwasher's running. I'm going to make coffee. And I gotta go to work again this evening. Probably leave around 5. Walk to work. Because I can't drive. Actually, coffee's gonna be ready in a minute or two, so maybe I'll just wait for that before getting into, Luminous. Also, I have to sneeze. Sorry. Yeah, there'll be more mono streams of just all of my evenings for this month until late in the month have been taken up by working late. I mean, I'm gonna leave for work at like 5 and get back at like 11. And then do that every day for a while. Coffee. I'm always in the Boba-verse. It's been the French press, I think, for like 5 minutes. Maybe it's only been 4. I'll let it steep a little bit more. Oops. Oh, that's not where that should have gone. Neither is that. Oh god, I'm lining these all up like one offset from the way that they ought to be lined up. Like that. I don't know if Luminous is very interesting to watch. It's hard to talk and play, but sometimes you get into like a really good groove. The pieces are going down like really aggressively, and you've got the super bonuses chained for turn upon turn, and that feels good. Coffee's probably ready. Once I get up and get that, I'll close the door so the dishwasher won't be so loud. God, dude, I'm in this real bad habit of... Like, when I lived in Baltimore, my apartment door locked behind me. And here, like, the door to the building does, but I I would say like 98% of the days I've lived here, if not like 99, I don't lock my apartment door if I'm in the room. And it's been fine. Except today, like the Verizon Fios salespeople somehow like let themselves in and started coming into my unit like up the stairs, and I just gotten out of the shower. It's like, oh, well, your internet sucks, I bet. Like, no, it's fine. Well, I could give you a free TV. If you join Fios today, it's a 43-inch Samsung. It's like, I don't have space for another TV. Also, my internet's fine. Also, why are you in my apartment? I know it's on me for not locking the door, but they didn't knock or anything. They just started coming up. And it's like, buddy, I barely have pants on at the moment. And this is like the third time the Fios people have come to my apartment specifically looking for me to upsell me on internet, which, like, I can only imagine means no one is signing up for it. Like, I don't know. I pay for gigabit internet. It's fine. Yeah, it's Xfinity, but whatever. No one likes their ISP. And if anything, I'm like less inclined to go with Verizon because, God, do they just appear to be vultures. Like, sorry, dude. I'm like minutes out of the shower. I'm not going to start looking over ISP plans right now. I have so much other crap on my mind at the moment that, like, switching service providers is so far down the list. Please get out of my apartment, and thank you. Oh, good. Got a text message that I was almost expecting to be from Verizon, but it's just Democrats asking for money again. God, I was in such a bad mood yesterday after the DMV refused to restore my license that I got like one of these other Democrat fundraising emails, and I was like losing my mind at it. Like, don't you ever fucking text me again, you fucking people, god damn it! Needless to say, I still got like 6 more today. But I needed an outlet, and I'm sure whatever robot is answering these texts does not care. I'm gonna go get me some coffee. By the way. Delicious coffee. Delicious Zeke's from Baltimore coffee. The best coffee. They still sell it by the pound instead of 12 ounces. I'm sure Verizon is fine, but like the Xfinity's been fine, and like I don't know, I don't even know why I'm still talking about this. You know, the guy's like, oh well, you're not getting a gigabit. Like, I know I'm not getting a gigabit. I know how speed works. I don't know if I do a speed test on this, if it's gonna like kill the stream bandwidth. Yeah, I mean, what? It's 650 megs down, and like 100, 200 up. Like, that's fine. That's pretty good. Back when I had RCN, it would be like 410 up or something. I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be miserable being a door-to-door salesperson, because, like, you know, you either begrudgingly get people to accept whatever your offer is because they just want to be nice and they're conflict averse, or you just get people like shutting the door in your face. There's one guy in Boston who, and I say this with absolutely no disrespect, but it's like this autistic guy whose special interest is ISPs, and he's like set up his own fiber local network for big chunks of Boston. And apparently, like, that is the meta if you want the best service in the area. He does not service my building or neighborhood. And if I wanted him to, it would be like a couple grand to install all the fiber networks. But like, I called to inquire once and just talked my ear off in this unilateral conversation for like an hour and a half about how every other ISP is evil and he's the only ethical one who like does not sell your browsing data, etc., etc. Like, I bet that guy's having a good time with it, but everyone else just seems miserable. Anyway, moral of this very protracted story is that I should probably start locking my door. But like, if someone wants to kill me, they just can, you know? I'm here to be killed. I like the sound it makes when you put these down. That like, boom noise. See, this is a good Luminous run so far. You gotta get into this, like, stupid flow state where you're talking about something unrelated and not, like, staring elsewhere at the chat or something, and your brain just makes the pieces go where they have to go with, like, no conscious effort on your part. Yeah, I'll be like that German guy that, like, killed and ate the other man voluntarily. But I'll be the ET, not the eater. I feel like that'd be weird. It's like, oh, if I have to shower every day and like maintain some sort of physical appearance, they might as well have it in an open casket funeral rather than just like, here's my body, now it's meat. You know, like take whatever organs out of it that you want for whatever organ donation thing I've opted into. But like, if you could keep most of it intact, let everybody at my funeral know that I at least tried to stick to some kind of like skincare routine. That'd be good.
Hey boy, hey girl.
Also, if somebody wants to make this day much better for me, if you could compliment me on how well I'm playing Luminous, and say like, wow, that's really impressive. I have no idea how you're doing what you're doing, but it's going great. You're so good at this game, so incredibly talented. The, you know, impressive mind. Only genius-level aptitude could make these plays that you're making subconsciously while maintaining a conversation about something else. That would be great. I say, immediately whiffing every other piece I've put down now. Oops, that is not there. Neither's that. That I've screwed up. Better than Japan's top players. I don't even know if the Japanese like Luminous compared to like Puyo or Tetris the Grandmaster. don't remember if this is like a Japan studio game or not. This one's not. This one was, I think, developed by Ubisoft, or at least published by them. But like the music and the sound effects and everything, if anything, just make me think it's European, even though I know it's not. You know, like how Wipeout is a very Euro-coded game.
Autumn love.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Also, I've noticed the volume for the game is, like, way, way too high. Sorry. Maybe it was fine. Nobody complained. But it looked too high. It was fine. Was it too low now? I think I only had it turned up because it was, I was playing Hardcore Pawn yesterday, which when I loaded the Vita up today, it was still playing that loop of Hardcore Pawn, with the Jersey guy buying the couch. No, they should have a Pawn Stars spin-off show that just incorporates gladiatorial combat. Like, if you can't agree to a price, you just enter into some sort of armed combat for who ends up owning the Pawn Star, or the pawn shop. And or the item. It would be funny to have the owner of the pawn shop change every episode based on just like who won in a sword duel. Make it like Jeopardy. I assume that's how Ken Jennings got to be the host, right? Just defeated Alex Trebek. Oh, that white piece should not have gotten that buried. That's a problem for me. It's okay, I'll get another one. Oh, I don't want this. There's not enough reds there. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Clear it all out. And then I got that white thing hiding in the corner, which I don't know how I'm gonna bust that out.
Yesterday, when I was mad.
No, I just loaded up the Vita and it just started playing Hardcore Pawn automatically. Which is very funny. I can only assume it was just like playing it all night. I wonder if my TV has like a 24/7 Hardcore Pawn channel in the same way that it has an Infinite Pawn Stars channel. Which in the last like few weeks since I've discovered it, maybe a month, I've probably watched, I don't know, like 40 hours of it. Maybe not like actively watched, but it is definitely background noise. The heavy breathing of the early seasons of Pawn Stars. Pre-Ozempic Pawn Stars. God, it's such a terrible show that I just keep watching. It's the Cheez-Its of television. You know, it feels more substantial than, like, a potato chip. You could make a claim that it's like vaguely historical and quote-unquote educational, but it's such junk. And then you eat the whole box and feel sick. But it somehow does not deter you from eating another whole box on another day. Apparently, though, they finally stopped making episodes of Pawn Stars. I thought it was still going. But I think it stopped, like, last year. Or the year prior. I don't know what year it is. 20XX AD 2101. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Actually, that's fine. Well, they already had, like, Facebook Marketplace Star, and it was called Barter Kings, and it was really bad, but I loved it. It was total trash television. Like, Pawn Stars at least pretends to be educational. Barter Kings is like, I'm gonna trade this wine for an ATV, and then I'm gonna trade that ATV for this Rembrandt painting. And then I'm gonna trade that for an SUV, and that's the episode. And one of the guys on the show had Tourette's, and there would just be like words that would stick in his head, and he would just like shout them out every episode. Most of the time, he just kept saying like, "Ba-bam!" really loudly all the time, unprompted, which was also very entertaining. Or like there's this Japanese guitar, and he would just like yell "Nippon Gaki" all the time in the whole episode, and it was a delight to see what he would come up with next, to see what random combination of sounds would stick in this poor man's brain. And I think it only lasted like 2 seasons. I wish it lasted more. You know, it's like that, I think it was a Reddit post, or maybe it was a website back when we had those. That was like, I traded this red paperclip, and eventually I traded up over and over, and now I have a house. Or a car, or whatever he ultimately ended up with. It's like oneredpaperclip.com or something like that. Which, like, if the people involved in the show had even a modicum of, like, charm or wit, it could have been an interesting idea for a show, but it's just these 2 mooks. One of which is, like, completely indistinguishable from every other mook, and the other one is the Tourette's mook. God, I love Luminous. I've only played this one in the original one, but they've apparently made a whole bunch of other ones. Although I don't think this one has been ported to anything. They ported the original one a bunch. There's also such a good loop for this song. No one ever did it like that anymore. Not since this game. And then you beat the level, and then it's still like, oh, this isn't as good. There are no vocals. There's no one counting in French. Ah, sorry, hang on. Coworkers texting me. Oh, I forgot I have coffee. I have to fill out a grant progress report later today when I go to work, and then got an email from one of my providers about, like, here's the updated DMV paperwork we sent you. Every time I get an email from any of my providers, I don't know why, but I'm just, like, very hesitant to want to open it. I'm expecting they'll say, like, no, you can't have this. Sorry, we're not changing your health forms to say this. Okay, figured that out. Or like all the begging I had to do for my PCP to get her to increase my dose of levothyroxine. Which I'm now realizing might have been artificially low this entire time. Because I had completely forgotten that biotin has a bunch of reactions with certain lab work because of like the biotinylated columns, or whatever they use for chromatography, I suppose. I take a biotin supplement every day that's like 33,333% of the RDI, so it's kind of a non-negligible amount. And apparently that might have been sequestering a lot of the TSH artificially, so it looks like that number is too low. Which is what I've always suspected. Not that the number was, like, wrong per se, but that, like, just being under-medicated for hypothyroid. So now I gotta not take that for, like, 5 days. Get blood work on the 20th. Make sure my blood is still red. Oops, didn't mean to put that there. That's okay.
Embracing the future.
Favorite part about going in for blood work is when the nurse says, like, wow, your veins are so good. Oh, thank you. At least there's one aspect of my body that I have no control over that medical professionals are like, wow, that's great. Way to have big, juicy veins. Way to not succumb to IV drug addiction. Not yet. It'd be like the guy in Reddit who just decided to use heroin one day and then ruined his life. I never know how much of the music in this game is like actual music versus just we made this looping track for the game. All the instrumental ones are kind of hard to tell because it could kind of go either way. The vocal ones I can at least believe like a person worked on. I think Luminous 2 has got a bunch of additional licensed tracks. I think it's got like a Hollaback Girl and some other things on it. You know, very like 2008 kind of soundtrack. Which is very funny. And there's really not a lot of media about Luminous 2 on the internet. It's in that weird era of like early-ish YouTube where like, you know, there's not a lot of video capture for stuff like the PSP out there yet. That's not from like major news outlets who have some kind of capture card or capture kit from Sony. And it's like, here's a video from like 15 years ago where IGN uploaded the trailer, and that's like it. The dude recording their PSP via like a webcam. You know, back when the internet was good. Video then just has an interlude into a YouTube poop. Shouldn't have put that there. Hello. This game is great. Luminous is great. It's a great puzzle game. There are no good puzzle games other than Puyo.
The sun rising.
Maybe if I played like the Tetris Effect or something, I'd have a better opinion about Tetris, but Tetris is lame. It's like saying, oh, my favorite food is pizza. My favorite video game is Ocarina of Time. Like, yeah, okay. Favorite TV show's Wheel of Fortune. The Vita was definitely an ephemeral thing. The PSP, I feel like, held on for a while. They had a bunch of different models of the PSP, but I feel like after the 2000, nobody I knew had the other ones. They had like the PSP Street that only had like a single speaker and maybe didn't even have internet connectivity. I don't remember. It was like super stripped down. But the original PSP was like prime Sony. It's like, you know, just really pretentious Ken Kutaragi driven design decisions. You know, like how the the square button on the original PSP never actually was able to be pressed down flat. It would always be at a slight angle because like they wanted it to be in that specific place on the model of the PSP. They did not want to move the button over by like a millimeter so that wouldn't be an issue. They didn't want to make it slightly larger. It's like, no, these are the dimensions, and I'm sorry if the buttons feel kind of chunky in this one part of the thing. It's gotta be this size. Period. Which, like, they fixed in the PSP 2000, but, like, the fact that nobody at Sony thought, this is an insane thing to do, you know, we could have just made it work normally and not feel like the button is kind of broken out of the gate, is kind of great. Like, I respect a totally absurd decision like that and sticking to your guns even when it makes no sense.
What's your number?
You know, it's like how they ended up deciding on the number of like compute units that the PS3 had because they wanted it to be symmetrical because symmetry is beautiful or something. Like, you didn't have to do that. But like, I'm kind of glad that you did. Because now everything is just like an x64 computer with like AMD hardware in it, and it's not interesting. And then you could also like twist the PSP in a certain way and make the UMD shoot out of it. I realize a lot of nostalgia is just like fetishizing stuff that you had in your life when you were in high school, and this happens to be roughly that era for me. But like, it was pretty good. Meet a dude after school to Pandora battery your PSP and then give you a copy of Final Fantasy VII. Play the game up until Wall Market so you can unlock Cloud and a dress, and then you make a specific save there so you can always go back to it whenever you want. I mean, what? And I never ended up beating Final Fantasy VII until like 2 years ago. Because for some reason on the PSP, I'd get to like the Sephiroth fight and Red 13 would cast a spell and then the animation would just loop and the game would soft lock. I still haven't beaten Final Fantasy VIII, though. Not like the final fight, and I've already done a bunch of grinding for like full life magic, and I've junctioned that to everything, so we're all super overpowered. I just never went and did the final battle. Which I guess I will. Hang on. Colleagues texting me. Ah, coffee. It was really neat that the PSP browser had Flash support. It's still really neat. I'll never forgive Steve Jobs for taking away Flash. Now we all have to settle for like 360p rips of Arfin House, or decline of video gaming, or the real legend. terrible. The PSP had like an internet radio app that I remember listening to a bunch when I had like 104-degree fever and got swine flu in high school. Just remember being like incredibly sick listening to that thing in bed, and it would just be like the Beatles channel, and the number of times that they played Birthday because it was someone's birthday and they were doing a dedication, slowly driving me crazy, but I was like barely conscious, metaphorically. I still have Flash installed on this computer, and every time I turn it on, it's like, hey, Flash has stopped working in 2020, maybe uninstall this? And I say, no, I'm good. And it's been pestering me about that for years, and, you know, I'm keeping it because I love Macromedia Flash. And if they let me reinstall Shockwave, I put that on there too. How else am I supposed to play all the 3D web-based games? How am I supposed to play that 3D SpongeBob jellyfishing game on Nick Arcade? Yeah, no, it is insane to me that, like, you know, Nintendo went all out with the Wii U in terms of superfluous internet features. In, like, a very Nintendo sort of way, but still, you know, like, whatever the hell TV was, like, the video chat no one ever used, everything with the Miiverse. And then, like, the Switch comes out and, oh, it doesn't have a web browser. You can't send messages to anybody. You can't interact with anything. Navigating the store is miserable, and every game's a porn game.
Wooden toy.
And we're still using friend codes, which is like a ridiculous idea when it came out, and everyone's like, wow, this is such a Nintendo thing to do. Can't have usernames, gotta protect the children. I bet this isn't gonna last. I bet they'll learn their lesson after the Wii, and no. We didn't. Gotta update your GameSpot forum signature to have the little block that's like, this is my Switch friend code. These are my Xbox 360 achievements. My hot Chivos. Oh, it's starting to get a little bit hairy here. Oh, I gotta use the touchscreen on this, but it's so bad to navigate with the fake pointer. And I assume they didn't add any additional network features to the Switch 2. I've never seen one, I don't own one, maybe one day I will, when there's a new Zelda or something. But as far as I'm aware, it's just a more powerful Switch with a better kickstand and a shitty HDR implementation. I'm gonna get more coffee. Ah, delicious coffee. Delicious brown slop. I gotta clean my stove. I don't know how my stove always just gets full of so much burnt on crap. Even when I'm like actively maintaining it, trying to not get it covered in burnt crap. Oops. That's what I get for cooking. Not just door dashing every meal. Oh, there's the controller. Please get to 1 million. I'll try. I don't know if I did. I think I might have only gotten to like... Does it have a high score? No. Oh, it's on the side, yeah. 850,000. It's like Ghouls and Ghosts, you get to the end and then it just loops. We gotta bring forums back, though. They've gotta be, like, heavily moderated. People who suck and aren't funny need to be told they suck and are not funny. What I'm saying is I need to run the internet and rule it with an iron fist. And it won't be pay to play, but it'll be PhD to play. DoctorsOnly.com.
Apollo's Throwdown.
Yeah, I guess that's all we're gonna get rid of with that. This game has a function where you can tap the back panel of the Vita to increase that little bar with the T-Rex on it in the bottom left corner. Ever since I replaced the front panel on my Vita, the back panel no longer works. I've gotten it to work like once or twice and taken a video of it for posterity, so I know the hardware still works, but there's something about like the connector or maybe something about the circuitry of the front panel that's rejecting the back panel in some way. What I'm trying to say is this game could be easier and I could be getting more of the things that clear all the colors at once if the touch functionality worked. I don't know how you would do it with the PS4 controller on the Vita TV. Maybe if I homebrewed it, you can like remap the back touch to like the front panel and I can just do this the whole time. But yeah, see it increasing like that really fast. But then you have to like click the sticks in and get in a totally different mode. I think it only increases by like 1 for every line it clears or something, versus increasing like as fast as you feel like mashing it out. Which feels kind of cheap, in the same way that like snaking in Mario Kart DS feels kind of cheap. Like, yeah, you could make it a worse gameplay experience for yourself by just mashing the controls really fast, I guess, but like, don't want to do that. Oh no, this is going bad now. Shuffle it, go, fix it. No, it didn't fix anything. Feeling pretty bad about this. I guess red. Should have maybe cleared this area. I think we're screwed. think we're screwed. I'm almost debating going back into that mode to do a bunch of mashing to try to get some of these all clear pieces. I'm sure I'll end up losing in some other way due to that. Shuffle it. Okay. That's better. I did beat Twilight Princess. It was okay. I had fun streaming that. It is too bad that it took me until, like, the very end of the game to figure the emulation issue out with it not running fast enough. But I guess I'll have to play it again. Or do Skyward Sword at some point. Buy the copy on the Switch. That. Dang. Do I have a lot of lights anywhere there, maybe? I like that the little thing that scrolls across the screen makes noise as it ends up hitting all the things, depending on like how high their stack is and everything. Like a weird music box kind of way. It's like, oh god, what is that game on the DS that I own that I'm blanking on that was also made by Q Entertainment? Meteos. That's an okay puzzle game, but also you can just randomly swipe at the screen and do about as good of a job as someone who's actively playing it for real would do. Oh yeah, the line scrolls along, and that's the thing that clears all the squares you make. It's got some kind of name, and I forget. It's some pretentious name, I think. I keep wanting to say it's the conductor's baton, but I've just got Zelda in the brain. I don't know if the manual works, or if this is just like the don't get a seizure manual. Man, look at this Vita game cards. Wow. Access the live area. You know, the home button. Luminous is back! Basic technique. Oh, it's just called the timeline. Never mind. Chain block, shuffle block, avatars, experience, parenthesis XP. Collection room, voyage, duel. The duel is only like local multiplayer. Wow, the world block. Generally speaking, the world block is a formidable fixed amount of squares. Each player's contribution, blah blah blah, you'll only be rewarded, etc. I never got any rewards. Wow, ubi.com. Good. No, you don't customize your character. You see in the bottom left corner how my dude's a little T-Rex? They have different dudes that have different abilities. But they've got like 4 abilities and like 40 dudes, so they almost all overlap. And some of them are just not as good as other ones. So like if I use the touchscreen to tap that, it'll give me a clear block, which means if I line it up with like a specific color, it'll erase all blocks that are touching each other that are that color, which is kind of the best one. It's either like that or the shuffle one, which just randomly assorts all the pieces that are touching each other, which can sometimes be really helpful and sometimes just break everything. Yeah, so in this case it's like, okay, we'll line that up, and then it'll erase all the reds that touch it, but in this case there aren't very many that are touching it. And then you can use a shuffle block and it rearranges those, which is not very useful. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. I don't like how it's building up. Oh, this game is probably miserable while high. But then the next question is, high on what? I'm pretty sure I tried to play this post-Ambient and it did not go great. But it's also not a game that you consciously play. It just kind of spills forth from you while playing it. For lack of a better way to phrase it, you just get in the flow state and then it just happens. Oh, I gotta get rid of a bunch of white pieces, but there are not that many over there. Crap. I have to flip that more. High on pot news. Couldn't be me.
Always love the film.
Oh, it's coming down too fast. I need to think. Even though I just said you don't play this game by thinking, I lied. Oh, see, and like that, not enough orange pieces to get rid of. Okay, that's a few more. Oh crap. Oh crap. also feel like this is not responding quite as quickly as the other levels do. Maybe that's just the me problem. Vita's not playing FMV video at full speed. Okay, good. Get rid of all those white pieces. Good. Good. Oh, we're so back.
Wolfgang's Fifth Symphony.
Oh, I shouldn't have put that like that. I should have put that elsewhere. That's okay. It just kind of feel like it is getting less responsive the more that I play. Like playing Balatro on the Switch. I don't know if that's actually the case. It shouldn't be, with the unlimited power of the Vita. I want to say this is the last level, and then it loops. Yes, give me pieces, thank you.
Desire.
Oh no, this is the last one. Oh, see, now this feels normal again. Yeah, maybe some of those later levels just run slightly slower. Or I'm just going crazy. Which would not be the first time. Yeah, and then that, and then that, and that, and that. Get rid of all those white. Good. Okay. Yeah, I gotta blow in the cartridge again. I'm telling you, it works. There's no reason not to do it. But you gotta, like, exhale in it, and after exhaling, then you blow in it normally. That's the trick. That's the trick they don't want you to do. They'll say like, oh, it corrodes your game. Well, I don't care. Doesn't matter. They work. Also, apparently that's not the last level. It's fine. Metal lasts forever. Even if it turns green. Oh no, I've turned this copy of like Sonic 3 into the Statue of Liberty. Maybe not going super great at the moment, but I think I was on a pretty good tear for most of this because I've almost beaten the high score and I haven't even finished the game yet. And that high score is from like a run where it was like midway through the second round. So I'm gonna consciously draw attention to this feeling that I'm doing pretty well and then immediately tank it. Oops. Okay, that's fine. This game needs the trance vibrator, like you're playing Rez. They ever make a new one of those? Spend like $300 on eBay for a copy of Rez on the Dreamcast. I might get $1 million. Oh god, it's not the last level. Okay, I have no idea when the last level is anymore. I've given up. Oh no, oh no. I don't have any good places to put things. It's all falling apart. Please shuffle block. Well. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. Literally none of these are clearing anything. I'm blowing it. Oh god, it's so bad. Please shuffle it. To clear anything out of the way, I need it. Oh, it's not very much. Oh god. I think it's over. Oh, God. I don't know what happened. It all went so bad. It all went so bad so fast, and I feel like it also stopped responding quite as fast as I wanted it to. I mean, it's a high score, but... I mean, not really. Man, I did it. I brought attention to the fact I was doing okay, and then I blew it. Yeah, take that, other people on my friends list who haven't played this game in like 10 years. Eat shit, I'm the best.
Welcome.
See, I could pick a different dude.
Collection.
I like the dinosaur. I like on the first Luminous, you could just be a cowboy, and every time you get a combo, he just shoots a gun. Look at all the guys I could be. But you have to navigate this via the touch screen. Could be a cat. Oh, does the cat not, like, show the animation it does? Could be a goat. Oh, that's all the way at the end. Oh, that's right, they want you to pretend it's a touchscreen. I kind of like this guy, but I don't really want the shuffle block power. Oh, the duck? I mostly would use the duck, and then I unlocked it. But, like, this isn't a very useful ability. It just... Like, okay, if you have an ability that A, wipes out a bunch of blocks immediately, or B, just gives you more blocks that are all one color, like, I don't know why that would be preferable. Oogie. This is Luminous Electronic Symphony on the Vita. Ugh. Or it could be two people. Holding the line is, like, sort of useful, but if you're desperate to clear it, which most of the time I am, you don't want it to stop the timeline, because then it just means stuff piles up. I could be a pig. I could be a detective. I could be a tank. I could be a rock. Oh, the penguin. Pengu. Oofy. I kind of like the penguin. I could be a tree. Sure. Let's see if the penguin actually does. Oh god, this menu is so bad. If anybody were in my proximity, I could send you oh, look at him! He's so dopey!
World block.
World block! Me, I contributed. Wow. That's the most that's ever been cleared, and it's probably mostly from me. Oh, wait. Is this one of those things where the deadline doesn't actually cross over until, like, midway through the next day?
Block.
World block! Me, I contributed. Wow. That's the most that's ever been cleared, and it's probably mostly from me. Oh, wait. Is this one of those things where the deadline doesn't actually cross over until, like, midway through the next day? The Verizon people are sabotaging my internet. I would not actually be surprised, because when they came up to me, they're like, "So we heard you guys were having problems with your internet recently." And if there's like a man back there unscrewing the coax, I would not be surprised. That would be very funny, and also I would have to drop a pot of boiling oil on him. Oh, look at the dopey little penguin dude. How does he animate when I get a combo? Or a chain, or whatever it's called on this. Oh, he does a little happy dance. I kind of like the T-Rex, though. It's very funny that... I don't know, the idea that a T-Rex would just be, like, cloned in the modern era and then just want to play a puzzle game. It's like how every Jurassic Park video game is like, go and shoot all the dinosaurs! Be it like Trespasser, or like the Genesis or Super Nintendo games. Wow, I've made a horrible mess, and this has just started. Oh, sorry. I don't know why the stream went down. It's the Verizon Mafia. It is very funny that, like, you could just go to someone's house and unplug their internet. Like, it's all just outside, unprotected. And then after you unplug all their phone lines, you can go and rob them. Oh, I'm doing a real bad job this time. The first round I was on a tear. This round, I'm just being torn. Oh, that's right, there is cellular data. Well, I guess I'll just rob people the old-fashioned way. With a crowbar. No, unplugging the phone line and waiting for them to come out is a very, like, Hitman 2 way to rob somebody. Then you throw the fire extinguisher at their head from across the room. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. I'm history's greatest monster. I gotta go to work in an hour. Get home at midnight again. Ration the Ambien I've got left, as tempting as it would be to just get home and zonk. No, it's just mouse behavioral stuff, but it's like a sleep-related experiment, so it's got to be done in the dark cycle, which is the active period for mice. One of the reviewers was complaining, like, oh, well, how do we know your model is not just providing sleep deprivation if you run it during the day when they're all asleep? And it's like, yeah, that's a valid point, but also, like, man, that means I gotta go to work and get home at midnight every day. It is, like, unironically a big problem in a lot of, like, rodent behavioral stuff, because, you know, when you're running certain behavioral paradigms, you're essentially just, like, waking the mouse up when it would otherwise be sleeping because you're doing it during the day, which is convenient for you, the human experimenter, but like introduces a whole bunch of additional confounds potentially. Not like mice sleep very deeply anyway. As prey animals, like the longest sleep bouts I've ever seen from a mouse are like 20 minutes at one time. They just wake up all the time. Like in grad school, when we would run all the behavioral stuff, it would always be during the day because that was convenient, and we never thought about sleep as a factor. And now I do sleep research exclusively for the time being, and it's just only thinking about sleep as a factor. I love the little penguin guy also. Penguins are good animals. What am I doing in this corner? This is just like garbage that's collected.
Sunriser.
There is, so you could swap them on an inverted light-dark cycle. It is a thing people do. I was like briefly involved with a project in grad school about alcohol consumption using the drinking in the dark paradigm, which for some reason postulates that I guess mice will mostly consume alcohol during their active period in the dark. And that was on a flipped day-night cycle. But it's kind of a pain because you can only really push it by like an hour or so every day, tops. So it takes a while for them to habituate to that. And also, all of the colony rooms and the experimental rooms and everything have lights on a timer that are all kind of just hard-coded to go on and off at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. So you'd have to, like, get some of the people that manage the facility to change all that for you. And you can't always rely on them being there every day or doing stuff on the weekends. So it's whatever. I don't mind working evenings, it's just not having a car at the moment, which is the biggest issue. You know, like, oh, how do I get back from work at midnight? Guess I'll pay a dude. Just turn into a shitty stand-up comedian. Like, I took this Uber the other day and you wouldn't believe what happened. He took a big poop in the car. Oh yeah, no, the RMV's miserable. I talked to them yesterday about getting my license restored, and I did everything they wanted, and they said no. Your medical eval does not list anxiety or insomnia as diagnoses, but your psych eval lists these, and they have to be the same. And also, your medical eval puts the drugs in terms of their trade names, and the psych eval puts them in terms of their generic names, and that looks like they're different meds to us, so you gotta resubmit the forms and do it again. Which means I'll have another meeting with the RMV on the 30th, and maybe after this third meeting, I will make them happy and I could drive. But for now, you know, they're just jerking me around, and I'm steadily losing my shit. Especially considering that, like, you know, A, I have not been able to drive for like 4 months plus at this point, and B, they had no case and everything was dropped because it was dumb. But the RMV has got its own law and its own regulations, and they hate me specifically because I'm too good at Luminous, and they're trying to keep me down. They're racist against Jersey drivers, the best drivers. Put that on record, it's true. And then I'm sure after this it's gonna be like, okay, good job, now also pay us $500 to get your license reinstated, or something. Like, I could drive anywhere except Massachusetts, which would otherwise be fine, except for the fact that I'm currently living in Massachusetts, and like, you know, I like the state, I like being in, you know, like the life science hub of the world, and everyone is super well educated, and there's like a hospital on every corner. You know, like the bluest state of the bluest city. I mean, that but inverted. But also, like, God, man, the RMV is making me second guess wanting to actually stay here. Yeah, like, it's just so excessively punitive, and they're being so pig-headed about everything for no reason. I cannot believe that one of their complaints with the medical eval was like, oh, you wrote it in trade names versus generics. Like, I am still flabbergasted that that is a legitimate problem they have. I guess I might as well use the penguin ability. No, it didn't do anything. True, we don't have any food carts. I ate from the halal cart in Baltimore like every day while writing my thesis, and I can't do that ever. Haven't been able to get falafel and lamb over rice cooked up in front of me for years. I'll have to go back to Baltimore.
Yesterday, when I was mad.
Like, getting anything from my PCP is like pulling teeth every single time. You know, like, I had to get them to update something because she didn't check a single box, and that took, like, the better part of a week. So, I don't know, I'm hoping she's faster about it this time, but I really doubt it. And I'm very tempted to not to admit to hypothetically committing a crime. But, like, you know, there's a part of me that's like, you could just change the PDF and plop the same signature on it, and it would be fine, and nobody would care, and you would have your license back. But I'm too paranoid. Which is, like, the same reason I got in this mess to begin with. Just to say, from being too honest. Yes, officer, I did take a drug today. I had one of my Ativan as prescribed to me. Oh no, now that's a crime. Oh no, now they put me in jail. Oh no, they're towing my car. That's why I don't have my license. Because I stopped slightly short, and very lightly, with no damage nor injury, bumped the car in front of me, who was an off-duty cop, and then they summoned like 5 more cops. And I'm not very good at lying, so I was like, yeah, no, I had an Ativan earlier. And then they arrested me for driving under the influence. And then it was all dismissed. Except I still don't have my license, because that is a separate process. Speech check failed. Yeah, kind of. So not only do I not have a car, I also have the luxury of having repeated nightmares of being arrested. Again. But it has given me the incredible lucid dreaming ability to just recognize things going very bad in a dream and thinking like, really wish this weren't the reality I'm in, and then I wake up. And I'm hoping that works while I'm conscious as well, but I haven't tried it yet. If I could just, like, say no hard enough to things that are currently happening, that they just stop. They didn't do a panel, or anything. They just said, oh, okay, well, you admitted to taking this, so, there you go. And, like, in the report, the rationale is like, oh, you didn't know where your driver's license was because it was, like, 8 p.m. and dark, and it had fallen underneath the passenger seat, and I didn't know it was there, and I was like, no, I don't actually know where my license is at the moment, I'm sorry. Or at the end of the report, when I said, I can't believe you're arresting me for tapping someone else's bumper, they're like, well, that is further proof of your intoxication because you could not understand why you were being arrested. You know, it was all just so dumb. It's like, if you already have some sort of suspicion about the police to begin with, doesn't help, does not make you, like, want to rely on them for help for anything. It's just, okay, well, I'm just never going to talk to the cops again for any reason. I don't know. It's such a drag. I just want my car back. You know, it's like until the rest of this is just knocked out and everything returns back to normal, it's like I'm living half of a life and everything's slightly on pause because this is just occupying a big chunk of my brain space all the time. I don't know. That's my story. That's why I'm a hardened criminal. Emphasis on the hard. hold me in prison, yeah, briefly, for a couple hours. And then they let me go. Nobody was there. I put the blanket over me and they yelled at me and said, no, don't do that. I did laugh though, because they also put me in the women's prison. Did not ask. Oh well. That's my story. And maybe by the end of the month I will be able to drive again, although I'm sure they're gonna find some other reason that there's a problem with the paperwork. Like, I made notes on the phone about all the things they need, but I probably should have been more explicit with, like, okay, if I do all of these things, is this all you want? Maybe I'll call them or something. And see, like, okay, can you pull up my file? Can you, like, specifically confirm to me that this is what needs to be done and only this? But I feel like volunteering more information like that will just make them more biased against me. Why do I have so many text messages? Oh, they're all just fundraising. I don't care. I don't have any money. Spent it all. Car things. How to get dropped. No, it's stupid. The attorney ended up getting literally just wrote an email to the DA that's like, hey, so the Commonwealth has to, you know, allege my client is under, like, a specific substance for intoxication, and they are unable to prove that, and the DA's like, yep, you're right, and then they dropped it. Because they also, like, listed things that they speculated I might have been under the influence of, just because, like, when they asked, oh, well, what are you prescribed? I'm like, okay, well, I have, like, this prescription for Ambien, which I didn't take, and Ativan, which I did have earlier in the day, and on the citation they wrote, like, oh, you were under the influence of both of these things. And, you know, it was just, like, the speculation of, like, one of the officers involved based on, you know, what I said that I had, but also whatever else he felt like writing. I don't know. It was dumb. And I apparently was, like, more or less fine on the body cam anyway. Never got to see it. They just wrote that you looked a little tired. Which, you know, it was in the evening and I hadn't been sleeping great. And also hadn't eaten in like 2 days. So yeah, I probably did. However, eating disorders are not a crime. Much like skateboarding. I probably looked like shit on the body cam. Not like a, you know, an incriminating sort of way, but in like a, oh, this is a very unflattering angle sort of way. I was like midway to buying food and was just slumming it up in like pajama pants and slip-on shoes. I'm all for taking mass transit when I can, but it doesn't really work with where I'm currently doing all my lab stuff. And, like, not having a car in the mid of, like, Boston winter is not that fun, and it is very cold. You know, and as fun as the incentives on the Pikmin Bloom glorified pedometer walking app are, it's also getting real tiresome of making that walk to work. Plunking down those 5 miles in the cold. No matter how cute the Pikmin are on the app, it is getting pretty old at this point. Oh, I don't have any whites that connect to that very well. It was very funny, though, at the end of the day, that all they had to do to just, like, have everything be dropped is just send an email. It's like, damn, I could have done that. Why'd I pay an attorney? I guess it's like, you have all this legal training, so you know what kind of email to send, but also... Like, I could have done that. I could have cut the green wire. Yeah, screw it. Let's shuffle it. No, I don't think there's any argument for compensation or anything. I think it's mostly I just, you know, be happy it was this good of an outcome. You know, don't push your luck, kid. It's okay, I'll just hold a grudge for the rest of my life. Said attorneys have the magical skill of farming. Don't remember that when I was playing Phoenix Wright. Well, I guess he actually did. Like, he had that plant Charlie in the office that was always somehow living in every single game. It's the reason that I have at least like one houseplant in my apartment that's called Charlie at any given moment. Just because of the Ace Attorney games. Right now, he's my really big Pothos.
Pacific 707.
I like the color. I like the color on this level. It really does feel like some of those later levels kind of chug, though. This one doesn't. I wonder if that had anything to do with the fact that the Vita was loading stuff off the card really slowly last night. Probably not. I assume this is all running off the game card, but... I don't know. This game's like DDR in the sense that like most of the stuff happening in the background you don't perceive at all while you're playing.
What's your number?
Like I'm vaguely aware of what the background is and like how the pieces change, but I'm sure your experience of watching me play this is totally different than my experience of playing it and what I'm focusing on and everything. You could still be an attorney. I wasn't like especially sold on being a scientist, it just kind of happened. Slept-walked into this career. Oh, so I can clear more of those. Shuffle. Yeah, that's pretty good. Supper bonus.
Flying high.
God, when I was in court, there was this one attorney that kept referring to opposing counsel as my brother. And it felt so condescending in like the best way. I looked it up, it's apparently like a thing, but like an antiquated thing. But I was so confused for a while. It's like, why are you brothers? Like, this other dude's like 70 and you're like 35. I don't know if it's like a Chuck McGill situation. But every time it's like, well, my brother over here said this, but actually this. It's like, wow. This is annoying me, and I'm not even involved in this case. Good job. All trials are civil trials because all men are brothers. Shit, wait, I meant all attorneys are brothers.
Higher state of consciousness.
If I didn't botch the delivery, that would have been the funniest joke I'd make today. Put that in a New Yorker cartoon.
Opening to the higher states of consciousness. Opening to the higher states of consciousness. Love is an opening. Opening to the higher states of consciousness. Love is an opening. Opening to the higher states of consciousness. Love is an opening. Opening to the higher states of consciousness. Love is an opening.
It's the water of the womb, just Pepsi. Oh, my bonus. I have no idea what the brother thing is in relation to. It's probably some like old barrister tradition of some sort that I couldn't tell you. I'm not an attorney. But you could also just, like, go to court. Like, if you're bored, you can just go to your municipal court and sit there and watch people on the worst day of their life.
Wooden toy.
It's free, it's legal, and it's fun. You just gotta deal with having the, like, 70 IQ guy that runs the metal detector give you guff for not taking your coat off the right way, but other than that... blow an afternoon. Yeah, first date idea, go to court. Honestly, like... no one else would have done that. You at least will have points in terms of, like, sticking out in their memory. No, we're not watching my trial, we're just here to gawk. I don't have any browns I can get rid of. Like, that piece that clears all the pieces of one color does not become active if it's not touching anything, so you can kind of, like, cook it for a little bit. But it's not really near anything.
Superstar.
I don't know that. They will yell at you if you're on your phone. Don't ask me how I know. However, I was also sitting next to, like, a real shitty pedophile for most of the proceedings until he was called up to, like, have his charges arraigned, so I feel like they should allow me to be on my phone in that case. I did not know that's what he was charged with until he got up, and it's like, oh... oh no. God, I'm so good at block stacking game. These pieces are all just falling right into place. I say before immediately screwing it up.
Apollo Throwdown.
No, he didn't make any small talk. I was too old. It was so weird, because also his mom was there, and they were, like, petitioning the judge to allow him to leave the state to go visit his parents and family for, like, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, God. How incredibly awkward. And my mom brought me to court on like 3 counts of soliciting and distributing photos of multiple minors from multiple states, and then when they didn't do it, I would tell them to go kill themselves. Anyway, nice turkey. Real juicy this year. Yeah. Oh, forgot that moved. I keep thinking this is that banana song. Bananas. You can kind of hear it. It's not, but you can sub that right in, you'd never notice. Choosing not to hear it. No, you have to hear it, I told you. That's a request. That's my last request. I'm dying, Chompers. The piece. Anyway, now I'm dead. Is there still coffee in this? Oh, there is. Oh, it's cold though.
Kelly watched the stars.
Where do I have a lot of whites? Not that many over here. No, come back, flow state. I need random things that are not this game to talk about, so my brain will just turn off and then autopilot kicks in. How about those sports? Hey, you should go to www.nfl.com and just check it out. Top 10 juiced up coaches and top 10 juiced up players. Hut, 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 hut. Such a good video. Dilbert 3. And then C-Boy RD just disappeared.
Adam Jew.
sorry, I got text messages. Sorry, I'm busy. Still trying to hit on the on-again, off-again relationship. Brain fog dissociation and chilling. My 3 favorite things. I love existential angst, but existential angst in the sense of not what do I do with my life, but what doth life? How do I know I'm real? Etc. How do I know anything I perceive is true? Oh no, now I'm spiraling. No, I'm not. I had a good long period of that, though. Being like an all-consuming thought. For like, better part of a year. Following a bunch of real shitty psychedelic experiences. That I was just doing because I wanted it to work as an antidepressant, because I did all the research in grad school and it worked in mice, and I thought I should do it too, but then it was bad. You're a sleep-deprived rat. Ratus. I don't work with rats. Feel slightly bad doing it. They're like markedly smarter than mice are. Not that, like, you know, your right to be experimented upon is based on capacity for intelligence, but ideally for model organisms you kind of want to go like as low down evolutionarily as you can from like an ethical perspective or something. I don't know, I don't make the rules. I'm just following orders. Oh, I gotta get this weight. Ah, that's good enough. Oh, shit. God damn it, that used up the whole thing. I forget. It's weird. If you put it, like, right at the end, where the timeline comes, it'll just consume it, rather than wiping them all from the beginning. That doesn't make any sense, but if you play the game, you know what I mean. Like, it highlights all the pieces for destruction, but it only destroys them if it can sweep past it. So if it only ends up getting, like, the last few that are highlighted, it essentially nullifies the ability for it to clear anything. Oh, this is getting a little bit hairy. Oh no. Please. Okay, that'll be enough. Just clear it. Just clear it faster. Okay. Sorry, I can't look at the chat right now. This one's sort of hard because it goes faster than you'd hope. Clear him. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're good.
Wolfgang's Fifth Symphony.
Oh, my foot fell asleep. Oh. Okay, never mind. Ah, my foot. Wouldn't birds be dumber than mice? Not specifically. I mean, it depends. Are we talking like corvids? Are we talking like sparrows? But also, you know, what is intelligence? Who knows? But the thing is also, birds are not mammals, so they don't have a lot of the same conserved structures that the mammalian brain does. So like if you're doing research in birds, you're kind of specifically doing it for the sake of researching things about birds specifically, rather than like trying to then translate it to humans. The early 2010s were great. What was tacky about LMFAO? I will not apologize for party rocking. Also, the stage is kind of tricky. I'm not sure why. Oh, I could have gotten rid of a lot more pieces with that. Oh, so many texts. I'll read these later. I got things to stack. Okay, shuffle it. Okay, that's good. Well, actually it wasn't a massive change, but I'll do it. I'll take that.
Out of the blue.
Where did I lose last time? Was it this level? forget if it went past this. Wasn't there one with the horse or something? It definitely feels like it's running better, though. I don't know what it was, but there was something about it that felt like it was skipping inputs last time. But now it feels like the brain-computer interface is like fully locked down in a good way. Nah, shuffle it, whatever.
Go yellow.
Nah, it's still the same person from before. Who... I don't know. I don't even know what the status of it is. It's in some sort of limbo post-breakup. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know how to stack. Oh, I shouldn't have put that there. That's bad. That's crap. Garbage. I should be put down like a dog. Please, give me this piece. God, using the emulated touchscreen on this is so bad. If you're, like, using it on an actual Vita, it's okay, but when you're trying to do it with the touchpad, it reacts so slowly, and the pieces are coming down, and it's, like, impossible to steer them when you're also mashing the touchscreen. Clear out more white pieces. Did not.
The future.
Yeah, okay, now we've looped around. Get a bit of a reprieve because this isn't too fast. Oh, it's the millennial dating strategy. Two beings in the same room on their phone, independently but together. Bliss. Scrolling in perfect harmony. We're gonna break the high score, I think, maybe. I say, then immediately start biffing it. Feels like this is stacked up, like, too much. Shuffle. Be good. No, that's bad. That did not do very much. That's fine, at least it's mostly flat now. Oh, that's screwed up now. Yeah, get rid of all these lights on the side. That's stacked up too high. Oh, that was a bad idea.
More sleep.
Sorry, hang on, I'm not in a position to stop looking at the screen. Nah. Oh no, screwed that up. Had a brain fart. And I just keep farting out of my brain. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Where did that clear piece go? I thought it was gonna clear a bunch of things. Oh, I think it just got immediately wiped. Not looking good. No. No, oh. I hate this game. I hate you, Luminous. I'm still playing the drums. I am. Although I haven't for the past couple of days. I needed to use the computer that they're attached to for video conferencing. Yeah, I barely broke the record, though. Oh, I have to go to work. I want to go to work. I hate working. I hate having a job in my chosen field of study. Why did I do this to myself? Okay, I'll be back later tonight at some point, but now I gotta leave. I'll be back at like 11 or midnight or something. Bye, Inara!